Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me once a week. I'm obsessed with constant and never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe now so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to the 4th episode of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Today, as I'm recording this, it's the first day of spring. I love springtime so much. Now, it always feels to me like new beginnings and fresh starts, probably because of the new green buds on the trees and the beautiful cherry trees that are blooming. They haven't been blooming for a while, and so it's always so fun when they start. Now, I have to tell you, it is 2020, and the first day of spring feels a little different this year because we're going through a major crisis, not only as a country, but in the whole world. The world is sort of standing still right now due to the coronavirus. If you're listening to this later, keep listening because I promise this message is still going to be relevant. Okay, I promise. Now, pretty much all the fun things we look forward to right now have been canceled, and it's unclear when that's going to change. We're basically all quarantined to our homes. Now, let's think about this. We have all dealt with disappointment and things being canceled in the past, so that's not an altogether new feeling. But the situation is new because we have not had to deal with something like this that affects everyone globally and makes you feel like you have no control of anything going on right now. I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's not true at all. Yes, there are things you don't control, okay? You don't control the weather. You don't control disease or death. You don't control the government, the news, the economy. You don't control other people's opinions. And finally, on my list, you do not control the fact that things change. Things are always changing. Now, I know that may seem a little depressing, but hang in here with me. I promise I'm going to make you feel better about it. Okay, now, there's lots of things you do naturally control. You control what you eat. You have complete control over what you eat, the amount you exercise, the cleanliness and the organization of your home. Last on my list of things I wanted to say you control are your thoughts. So it's last but not least. You control your thoughts about everything. So it may seem like that's not true right now, but if you're a free person living in this world and you can listen to this podcast, you do control those things. This is very, very, very good news. You know why? Because it allows you to have somewhat of control over the things with which you have no control. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It allows you to have somewhat of control over the things with which you have no control. Hear me out. What do I mean by that? Let's take the weather, for example. You don't control the weather, but you have control of the thoughts about the weather. It's been raining for what seems like 2 weeks here in Memphis. And you know what? I'm a sunshine girl. I love sun. I crave it. But you know what else? I love the rain. I also love how much it makes me look forward to the sun. And when the sunshine gets here, it makes me love and appreciate it that much more because of the contrast. I control my thoughts about the weather, and therefore I feel I have control of how the weather affects me. Now, I also don't control the news, but I do control the on and off button on the TV or on my phone. Listening to the news for a long period of time will derail even the most positive amongst us. By tuning out of it and maybe just peeking at it periodically to see updates, I get to control the amount of fear the news causes me and the amount of attention I give to the news. It makes me feel like I have a little control of the news. Now, we also don't control the government. If you live in a free society, which if you're listening to this, you probably do, you do have control of your household and you get to say what happens in your own home. So you've got control of that domain, and for that we can be very thankful because not everyone does. You can decide when you get up, you can decide to go for a walk, to exercise, to eat, to work a little bit maybe, enjoy a glass of wine. You get to decide how many lights you turn on during the day. Now, I love atmosphere and I love to create a beautiful atmosphere in my home. And so my husband has just gotten used to I turn every single lamp on every single day because I work from home and I want it to feel beautiful. And so we just leave the lamps on, especially when it's raining. How much fun is that? That's a luxury that I feel is really important to me. Now, last but not least, that I'm going to talk about is you don't control other people's opinions. One of my favorite quotes is by Wayne Dyer. I know it's been attributed to a lot of different people, but this quote is so good. It's other people's opinions of you are none of your business. In times of crisis, we are all doing the best we can with what we have. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, well, everyone else is doing it wrong. Jenny down the street bought too much toilet paper. John has been visiting his elderly dad. He shouldn't be. Bob and Linda have filled their home with alcohol. I think they should have bought water instead. Why don't we give each other a little grace? You have no idea what other people are going through, and they in return have no idea what you're going through. So, can we all agree to just be okay with letting people do their thing and know it has nothing to do with us? It's none of our business. Just know that you control your opinions and thoughts, and that is all that should matter to you. That's it. You're doing the best that you can with what you have, and so am I, and I love us for that. So, my ending message today is this: there's a crisis, and everything canceled, but someone forgot to tell nature. I'm still seeing the blooms and the buds and the green grass and the bursts of spring everywhere, and I feel like just like a forest that has been through a fire, we're going to come out of this better than we have ever been before. And that hope is enough for me on this first day of spring. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And if you would, please follow me on Instagram at the Heidi Dawson. I go live and I would love to interact with you. It makes my day to be able to do that. So, all right, love you guys. Have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.